Cancer, what's going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Cancer love reading. Today we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest here in October 2025. So let's get started and let's get one card for what's the mutual point of interest between Cancer and their romantic person of interest here in October 2025. Okay. What's going on with you, Cancer? It's been a minute. I moved from Texas back to Ohio roughly 3 months ago. Not long after that, I got incredibly ill. Like, legit thought I was going to die for a good minute, which is why I have been away. This has been the first week that I've felt like even getting out of bed, honestly. So here I am. I'm back. I'm feeling about 85% now. I lost like 50 pounds like really quick while I was sick. So I've gained about 15 pounds of it back. So I'm moving in the right direction finally. But let's take a look at your energy in this connection for October 2025. Let's get 3 cards for what's going on with Cancer as it relates to their person of interest and the connection between them in October 2025. Okay, we got a whole lot of stuttering going on right here. I wonder what that is about. Let's get one more for Cancer, please. There. Oh, that's what it's about. I see. All right. What's going on with your person, Cancer? What's going on with Cancer's romantic person of interest as it relates to Cancer and the connection between them here in October 2025, please? Thank you. What do we have here? All right. The overall energy of this reading, the Tower. Well, starting it off with a bang, apparently, here. The Tower is the collapse of some important structure in your life. This is a foundation rocking event. This is like a game changer. Like, at this moment, nothing's the same after that. A lot of times this will represent the collapse of the relationship between the two of you. Sometimes it can represent the collapse of a belief system, like this mental model of the world you were operating from, where I believed it was going to be this one way and now something has happened and shattered that belief. This is a big time change of events here. Right behind that Tower, I have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a physical, new, tangible opportunity presenting itself. This is not like an idea or a concept. This is some physical thing that I could reach out and touch. It's the seed of abundance. Doesn't really feel like the seed of abundance. This is feeling more like some new physical thing shows up, especially with what I'm seeing here. That's underlying this Tower energy right behind it. Behind that, I have the Chariot, which is your major arcana card, Cancer. This is the fastest moving energy in the deck. This is very fast forward movement. It's also got like an implied imbalance or a potential imbalance in it. In the normal standard Rider-Waite tarot deck, there's a black sphinx and a white sphinx, and that represents the shadow side of a person, the light side of a person, and the driver has no reins. He uses willpower alone to control those two parts of himself, and if those two parts of himself, the shadow side and the light side, are not in alignment, if they're not both pulling in the same direction, this is no longer the fastest energy. It's every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man. It doesn't go anywhere. Worse yet, it can kind of pull itself in 2 different directions as it moves forward, and it'll tear itself in half as it does that. At the core, this is like the underlying will to overcome some problem or challenge or obstacle that's in the way. It's about trying to get past that through willpower alone and move forward very quickly in success and victory. Sometimes that can also represent travel or just getting the hell out of Dodge really fast here. Not looking pretty. We've got the collapse of something tied directly to some new physical opportunity presenting itself, and either someone splitting, like taking off and getting out of here, or this is the underlying will to try to overcome the collapse of the Tower where something fell apart. That's the overall gist of what it looks like this reading is going to talk to me about. We will come back to that as we need to. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in October 2025, Cancer. It doesn't always affect you the same way. Sometimes they do this and you feel the consequences, or vice versa. Sometimes they say or do something and it puts you kind of like in this state, or vice versa. Sometimes it's legitimately some external thing affecting both of you, but that shared energy, that mutual point of interest, is the Page of Pentacles. Pages are messengers. This is news and messages and communications about some physical, tangible opportunity presenting itself. This is sometimes a person who has an early stage plan for their future. It's just not a fully thought out, fully developed plan yet. Get a drink here. I'm all choked up. I'm going to clarify this for you and see what else I can find out. Tell me about this Page of Pentacles. Why is that the shared energy affecting Cancer in their person? Okay, we're taking some extra cards. That's been par for the course since I came back. I will tell you that right now. I've been getting extra cards here a lot. All right. Underlying this Page of Pentacles energy, the Magician. This is the master manifester of the tarot deck. This is someone who has all the tools and abilities and resources to create the world around them to be in alignment with what their will desires. He's got all 4 aces on the table in front of him. This is about a person's thoughts and actions creating the world around them the way they want it to be. More often than not, when I get this card in this particular reading, this would represent the person whose thoughts and actions have shaped this situation that I'm reading about here. Someone's like intentionally created something. Right behind that Magician, I have the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth. It's the sword of clarity. It's the sword you would use to make decisions with. The word decision, the Latin word that decision comes from, literally means to cut off. So when you have these other options, this would be like cutting them away until there's one left, and that's how the decision gets made. This is also sometimes the sword you would use to cut something or someone out of your life. And behind that, I have the Empress. This is the mother of the tarot deck. She's always pregnant, so she's always giving birth to something. In a relationship reading, she represents the birth of something new. That's usually, the birth of a new relationship. So I've got someone creating a situation here, either cutting something off to birth something new, which could explain the Tower, or it's talking about the truth of what they created is the birth of something new here. Well, when I clarify this Page of Pentacles, I get the 2 of Swords, the 4 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, and the King of Swords. In a relationship reading, I don't really want to see swords. I would much rather see cups. I'm even cool with some wands, like some passion and desire and sexual energy, but I'm getting way too many swords already here. The 2 of Swords is Libra energy. It represents a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet for some reason. Now, the person on the card is blindfolded, and that blindfold can represent I don't have enough information available to me in order to make this decision, which is why it hasn't been made yet. More often than not, that blindfold represents blinders that someone is wearing. Like this lady is trying to decide between these 2 swords, but she can't see what she's doing. And like the logical thing to do would be to lay one of the swords down and take the blindfold off, and then she could make an easy choice. But she's choosing not to do that. That blindfold, the blinders, would represent there's something about this that I don't want to see. I don't want to look at it. I don't want that to be the truth here. Now, this can also represent someone had a choice to make between the person that they were with and this new physical opportunity that presents itself. We do have communications about the physical opportunity. Sometimes this is just a stubborn-ass energy where I'm just refusing to decide. I'm choosing not to decide, which, by the way, is still a choice. But we have some element of like a stalemate, some decision that needs made that's not being made here, underlying this communications about some physical opportunity or some early stage plan for the future. Next, I have the 4 of Cups. This is Cancer energy. This is about not being fully emotionally happy or content with what you have in front of you here. The person is looking at these 3 cups, and the 3 cups represent togetherness, like being united and celebrating, or even being reunited and celebrating. And maybe I don't have that right now, but there's this other cup that's just kind of like hanging here in the air. And that represents the thing that I don't have, but if I had that, it would make me happy. Now, sometimes this can represent, a person who's not fully happy being together, and there's this other person that they can't get off their mind. They're distracted by the other person, which is totally possible here. Another thing that this can represent is 3 cups can represent a third party love triangle, because there are 3 cups of love in the picture. But that could also represent I'm not happy with this third party thing, and I can't get that other person out of my head that they brought in. Central to this is the 6 of Cups. This is Scorpio energy. This is an energy of the past. It's thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past, the good old days, the way things used to be between the two of you. This can represent a deep emotional connection. It can represent the history between the two of you. It can also represent something from the past coming back up again, or happening again, or even a person from the past coming back. If that's representing another person coming back, it does not necessarily have to be someone that like they were romantically involved with previous to you, although it can represent that. It can just represent someone who's not a brand new person. It's some person that there's already some element of history with. There's like someone that they already know. That could just be reminiscing because there's been a collapse of this thing, but that new opportunity that's in the background, and the communications about the opportunity, and like this failure to choose, and the truth of the matter being someone birthed something new. I didn't go deep enough. The next card behind that Empress, the birth of some new connection, is the 5 of Swords, Aquarius energy. 5s are conflict. This is sometimes a big fight that ends things. Sometimes it's a betrayal, which is making a lot of sense if someone's birthed a new connection here and maybe brought someone from their past and had a choice between 2 people and just decided not to choose, aka I'm going to keep both of you. That could indicate betrayal. At its core, this card is a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event taking place. The next clarifier for this Page of Pentacles is the 10 of Swords. This is Gemini energy. This is a swift, painful ending. Sometimes it's an ending you don't see coming, which is why the swords are in the back. If you saw it coming, it'd be in your front. Sometimes this represents an ending in betrayal, hence getting stabbed in the back. So twice already, I've had to reference betrayal here. That ending is tied to the past. Now, that could be there's a history of ending here between the two of you. It could be someone from the past came back and I just ended it and took off like a bat out of hell going that direction. Final clarifier for this Page of Pentacles is the King of Swords, Aquarius energy. This is the decision maker of the deck. This is someone who's very smart and logical and rational minded. It's like the conscious mind here. This is a decision maker, though, that when they make their decisions, they throw their emotions out the window. This is like emotionally detached decision making. The King of Swords is interested in the truth and the facts, and what can I see right in front of me? What can I verify to be true with my own eyes? What do I know? I'm going to decide based on what I know, not based on what I feel. So for you, Cancer, being a water sign, this kind of a person can feel emotionally like detached, emotionally distant, or even cold and calculated. That is tied directly to the ending here. Not uncommon at the early stages of these readings. I don't fully understand exactly what it's trying to tell me, although it looks like I got a pretty decent handle on it already. I'm going to come back to this shared energy as I go through your energy, Cancer, because then I'll be able to see more clearly how that applies to you. I will come back to it again when I go through your person's energy, because then I can see how it applies to them. But that's the shared energy affecting both of you here in October 2025. Cancer, the first card in your energy is the most important. You got the Page of Wands. Central for your energy is the 2 of Cups, and your final card is the 10 of Swords. The Page of Wands. Again, pages are messengers. Wands are about passion, desire. This is news, messages, and communications about passion and desire. The shared energy is news, messages, and communications about some physical opportunity presenting itself. The Page of Wands. This can be like passionate messages. It's also the minor arcana version of the Fool. It's a toned down version of that energy. Like the Fool will just leap off the cliff and try to figure it out on his way down. This is someone who has the willingness to take the very first steps down a brand new path towards something that there's passion and desire for. So let's take a look at that. I'm already feeling it, so I'm going to tell you this right now. Even though this is your energy, it's very common that this first card and all the clarifiers for it ends up being something from this person, and it's just showing up on your side because what they did is affecting you so strongly. So tell me more about this Page of Wands. Why is that the first card here for Cancer? Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Underlying this Page of Wands energy, Six of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. This is supposed to be generosity, reciprocity, like you scratch my back, I scratch your back, like equal give and take. We take care of each other. It can represent balance or like trying to balance something back out that doesn't really fit with anything I'm seeing so far. The negative meaning to this card is it can represent the merchant here, meaning your person, giving to two people in the physical sense. And notice there's like one tucked away behind his back here. So we got someone probably communicating about passion, desire, expressing interest, talking about what it is that I want, maybe given to two people. Behind that is the Four of Wands, and this is Aries energy. Fours are about stability, and Wands are about passion and desire. This can represent stability of the home life, stability of the family life, stability of the connection between the two of you. Those four wands represent 1111, which is the number of manifesting. We've already seen the magician. He's got the four aces on the table. The aces are the ones of the four suits. So again, 1111. The idea of manifesting is happening here twice already. This card is a lot of times a celebration of the home and the family. It's one of those cards that a lot of people label as a marriage card. So this is looking like you might have had some stable connection, or maybe what you believed was a stable connection before the belief shattered. And in the midst of that, we probably got somebody talking in a way they shouldn't be to someone they shouldn't be talking to, and maybe given to two people here. Yeah, definitely behind that Four of Wands is the Three of Cups. Cancer energy. Again, this can represent being united and celebrating, like being together. It can sometimes represent reconciliation, like being reunited and celebrating. But it can also represent a third-party love triangle because there are three cups of love in the picture here. Having the willingness to take the first steps down this brand new path, like talking about what I want, yeah, that kind of behavior leads us to that Three of Cups. So when I clarify that Page of Wands, I get the Ace of Cups, Judgment, Queen of Wands, and Ten of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a new beginning in love and emotions. This usually represents a new person has shown up. Now, normally when I do these spreads, this first column is something that's already happened, and the closer I get to the last column, it's like getting more and more current with the energy here. So this looks like there has been a new person get brought into this. That's how you get to the Three of Cups to begin with. Son of a bitch, right behind the Three of Cups is that Page of Wands, which is the card that I'm clarifying right now. And right behind that is the Knight of Wands. So we got some escalating passion, desire energy here, going from the page up one step to the Knight. This card gets labeled as the player of the tarot deck a lot. It's that person who comes rushing in all passionately and tells you everything you want to hear. Then they rush off somewhere else all passionately and tell them everything they want to hear. And they're doing that just to try to get what they want. But then they'll bebop back and forth between two people, playing both sides of the fence. Now, it can also be someone who's not fully committed to what they said they wanted. Like at the beginning, they seem really gung-ho. They're saying all the right things, doing all the right things, but then suddenly they turn the other direction and go a whole different way. So they can't stay like fully committed to what they say they want. Even behind that, I get the moon. This is sometimes fear, worry, and anxiety from uncertainty. Like when the moon's out, it's dark outside. You can't see what's going on in front of you. So it can be like really easy to get turned around and not be sure, am I on the right path for me or not? Was this the right path for me to begin with or not? Should I turn around and go the other way? So that level of uncertainty can cause fear, worry, and anxiety. Pretty sure you have some uncertainty here with the tower out here. The other meaning to the moon is it can represent something being hidden in the dark, some secret being kept. And when that's attached to what gets called the player and this person who has the willingness to take the first steps on this passionate path, and we got 3 cups involved here, and the merchant giving to 2, and this new person showing up, it's looking increasingly clearer what's going on here. Next clarifier for this Page of Wands is Judgment. This is the most powerful decision card in the deck. In the shared energy, I've got a decision that needs made that's not being made at whatever stage that was at. Well, this is that decision happening. This is passing a final verdict and judgment on something. In a relationship reading, this goes one of 2 ways. Either A, we're calling it dead and over with, and there's no coming back from that. Like you got 10 swords in the back. You're not going to the hospital and getting some stitches and you'll be back to work tomorrow just fine. That's not how that works. Same with the tower. Once it collapses, there's no putting it back together. That's the point in time where after this, nothing's the same ever again. So this is looking like the decision to call something dead and over with. Now, it can sometimes represent the decision to try to resurrect something, to call it back from the grave and bring it back to life. Don't see that whatsoever out here. The next clarifier for Page of Wands is Queen of Wands. This is either Aries or Leo energy, depending on how you view that. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows exactly what she wants. She typically does not take no for an answer. Very driven and motivated. It's also really high up in the wand energy, and the wand is the phallic symbol of the deck. It represents the male you-know-what, using it to do you-know-what, sexual energy. This would be someone who has a lot of that kind of energy. It's usually someone who's very, good looking and attractive and fun to be around, someone that there would be passion and desire for. It's the fire element queen, like the hot queen. So it usually represents the other woman that there's all this attraction to, especially when I got a new person showing up here with this Ace of Cups, and some decision to call something dead and over with is directly tied to this new cup of love showing up, and it's also directly tied to this attractive person here. Final clarifier for Page of Wands is the 10 of Cups. This is Pisces energy. This is most people's goal in terms of love and relationships. It gets called the happily ever after card, the happy fairy tale ending, the happy fairy tale romance. It's very rarely is that what this card is talking to me about. This is more often than not talking to me about someone's idealized point of view. In other words, looking at the relationship for how I want it to be instead of how it actually is. I mean, and if you zoom back from this situation for a second, like detach emotionally for a minute, and let's just look at something logically. If you really had the for real 10 of Cups, the for real happily ever after with this person, would you be here watching a tarot love reading right now? Probably not, because you wouldn't need a tarot love reading to give you guidance or to tell you what's going on in your situation, because you would already know this is about being fully loved and fully appreciated, and 2 people that are pouring themselves into each other equally, where everyone's loved and fully happy. And so far, what I've seen, you don't have the tower happening when you have the real 10 of Cups. You don't get some new physical opportunity with some hot queen showing up. You don't have a new cup of love showing up. We've seen the merchant giving to two. We've seen the three of cups. We've seen the player. We've got the 10 of swords out here. You don't have any of that stuff when you have like the actual legitimate 10 of cups. So this is a little bit confusing here. The other thing that I'm seeing sticking out to me is we're going from the ace of cups, the 1 of the cup suit, straight to the 10 of cups. And that's not how it works. I see this a lot. I do a lot of personal readings, and I see this almost every day. And if not every day, like a few times a week easily, where someone meets this new person and they think they're straight into the happily ever after immediately. Like they meet this new person and like they're already visualizing the wedding in their mind and stuff like that, and the happily ever after. But notice there's the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 that are supposed to be between this, and it's missing. So we have some big problem here. And I don't know if maybe that's their idealized point of view about this new person that they've got, or if even in spite of all of this stuff happening, maybe there's this idea for you that, but this is my 10 of cups. This is who I'm supposed to be with. I'm not sure which way that plays out yet. So take that piece however it fits your particular situation right now. Maybe that will clear itself up as we go. Central for your energy, Cancer, is the 2 of cups. This is Cancer energy. This is an emotional connection between the two of you. It is also a 2, and in tarot, 2s are about choices and decisions. So this is either a choice about this connection, or it's a choice between more than one cup of love. And I've got that other cup of love here, and we've seen the 3 of cups already. Let's clarify that. Tell me more about this 2 of cups. Why is that central for Cancer's energy here in October 2025, please? Oh my. Underlying this 2 of cups, Ace of Swords, the sword of truth, the sword of clarity, the sword you would use to make a decision with, the sword you would use to cut something or someone out of your life. I've got here in the shared energy the 2 of Swords. This is how you get out of that stalemate. This is about the truth. It's also about severing, and we're clarifying a choice in this connection, or a choice between two different people. Right behind the Ace of Swords is the 9 of Cups. This is Pisces energy. This is a step backwards from the 10 of Cups that we just looked at. And even though this 10 of Cups is most people's goal in relationships, this 9 of Cups is what's supposed to be the goal. This is self-love. This is being emotionally content and happy in and of myself. It's about not needing an external person to show up and, quote, make us happy. Not needing some external person to show up and make us whole, or to make us feel worthy of love, because all of that stuff comes from inside of us already. You're already whole. You're already worthy of love. Even like the whole idea of someone making me happy. Happiness, like, legitimately is just a chemical that we make in our body, and it has an effect on our brain, and ta-da, we're happy. And we a lot of the time will give some other person credit for, quote, making us happy, because what's really happening is they're around while we're generating those chemicals that cause happiness inside of us, and we end up like giving them credit for that when actually we're making the happiness ourselves. So the positive side of this is being emotionally happy and content and not needing the external person to do that for you. The negative side of the 9 of Cups is it's about personal happiness and personal wish fulfillment. So this can represent someone who takes that a little bit too far, and now everything is about me, myself, and I, and my happiness is more important than your happiness. So we've got a choice about your connection that you probably have your personal happiness tied to, but then that's been severed, which means your happiness has been severed. I see that a lot too, because when someone's not really in the 9 of Cups and they're too fixated on this idealized point of view of the happily ever after, and they attach all of their personal happiness to the other person. Well, what happens when the tower collapses and that person isn't here anymore? Well, that means your happiness isn't here anymore. They took your happiness with them, which I hope is not happening to you. But there's definitely been probably some sort of a severing to the happiness here, or either a severing has taken place because someone else's personal happiness, their personal jollies were more important. Yeah, there's the magician again. We saw that at the very beginning here. This is the person whose thoughts and actions have created this situation that I'm reading about right now. Okay, maybe that's connected to it. There's the Hierophant right behind that. This is the Taurus Major Arcana card. This is a card of commitment. It's about being committed to something bigger than yourself. In a relationship, this is being fully committed to the relationship. This is the one of those other cards that gets referred to as a marriage card a lot, along with that Four of Wands that we've already seen. For me, it's also like the Ten of Pentacles, like combining lives together, building a life together. Any of those cards can reference, like, if not married legally, being like fully committed to the connection. So there was a commitment between the two of you, but someone created a situation based on their personal happiness, and that's probably what led to the severing here. So we've got this choice between a choice about this connection or between two different people. And when I clarify that choice, I get the Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, the Star, Seven of Swords. Queen of Cups is Cancer energy. This is you. This is you having a lot of love and emotions for the person. She's half the equation that builds this Ten of Cups here. The King of Cups is the other half of that equation. She's also the only character in the deck that has a lid on top of her cup, and she does that as a way to protect her emotions from getting contaminated. She's been emotionally hurt before. She doesn't want anything getting in her emotions and messing her up again. What she really wants to do, though, is take the lid off of her cup and pour her love into someone. She's just guarded and hesitant. That's sitting right beside this Ace of Cups. Now, I guess another meaning for the Ace of Cups, besides just a new cup of love, is it can represent trying to fill this cup back up. In other words, start over at square one here. I want to be able to take the lid off of that. Next, I have the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm clarifying what could be a choice between two different people. And I have two different queens here in the energy. This is Capricorn energy. A lot of times this is like wife type of an energy. It doesn't necessarily have to mean legally married wife, although it can mean that. It can just represent like fiance, stable, committed girlfriend, the person that I would be trying to build my life around in some way. Two queens in the mix is a little iffy to me. Judgment is sitting right beside this wife type of an energy here. Now, this could be a decision to end things with wife. If you're wife, it could even be that someone maybe told you that if this person is already married and maybe you're the third energy that got brought into here. Could be talking about ending that, but it could also be trying to resurrect it. And I just really just now noticed this. I actually have 3 different queens on your side of the table already. The next clarifier for the Two of Cups is the Star. This is Aquarius Major Arcana energy. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. Sometimes this can represent wish fulfillment. In other words, thinking that this person is the one for me. This is also the card that comes immediately after the Tower in the sequence of the Major Arcana. So you don't make it to the Star energy without the collapse of the Tower happening. That would represent like the collapse of the old and the hope for the future, the hope for what comes next, the hope that we can heal this, then put it back together. Except the problem is that hope is tied to the Queen of Wands, which would probably represent the other woman. Now, that could represent a part of you where you have all of this passion and desire and this I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm going after what I want, and what I want is the hope that we can heal it. It could be any of those things. Hell, there's nothing that says it can't be all of those things at the same time, and it's just different layers to the onion, so to speak. The final card here for this Two of Cups is the Seven of Swords. Aquarius energy. I feel like I have said Aquarius a lot here. Let's see, I've got Aquarius here. Got some Aquarius there. I've got Capricorn, Cancer, fire energy, a little bit of Leo, some Pisces, some Libra, some more Cancer, some Scorpio, some Gemini. You could be dealing with any of those signs, but this is a general collective reading, so you could be dealing with literally any sign. It's going to be impossible for me to pin down exactly who you're dealing with as an individual person, because I'm not tapping into your specific energy as an individual person like I would if I was doing a personal reading with you and it's just the two of us one-on-one. Here I'm tapping into collective energy of thousands of Cancer people all at once. So I'm going to just keep calling these signs out just in case they mean anything to you, but this is Aquarius energy. The Seven of Swords is lying, cheating, deception, sneaking around behind someone's back trying to get away with something. Which makes a lot of sense if I'm clarifying two cups and I have two queens in the picture. It's also sitting right beside the Ten of Cups. So this can represent that this idealized point of view is a lie. It's not really the truth. Even though that's what you have your happiness attached to, it could represent that. Could also represent that you guys were together and you believed that it was the Ten of Cups until something happened to shatter that belief. And the thing that would shatter that belief is the lying and cheating and deception. Final card in your energy here for October 2025, Cancer, is the Ten of Swords. We've already seen that here in the shared energy. This is Gemini energy of a swift, painful ending, sometimes an ending you didn't see coming, sometimes an ending in betrayal. So let's clarify this Ten of Swords. Tell me more about that, please. Why is the Ten of Swords the final card for Cancer, please? Just had the Wheel of Fortune flip upright, show itself to me, and then go right back in the deck. Oh man, okay, this way, fine. That doesn't mean the Wheel of Fortune energy isn't here. It just means someone's trying to contain it. They're trying to hold it in and not let it out. The Wheel of Fortune is a change in the luck and fortune. That's usually the pivotal moment where the wheel spun the other way and we wrapped around the telephone pole. It can also represent a repeating cycle of something happening again, which would be a repeating cycle of endings. That's weird because in the shared energy, that Ten of Swords is sitting right beside the card of the past, which I said can represent a history of endings or something from the past happening again, meaning like an ending happening again. Underlying that Ten of Swords, Page of Wands. That was your very first card over here on your side of the table that we already clarified. Passionate messages, expressing interest, expressing desire, having the willingness to take the very first step down a brand new path toward passion and desire. Six of Pentacles, that's Taurus energy. Again, this is the merchant giving to two people in the physical sense. Probably when we had stability in this connection. Four of Wands is Aries energy, stability of home, family, stability of connection. Also, like I said, the Four Wands are 11-11, which is the stage, and it's about manifesting. And the Four of Wands is the stage in manifesting where the thing that I want has shown up and it's stable in the physical reality, and I can celebrate its arrival. You can see the people on the card are celebrating. When I clarified the Ten of Swords, King of Wands, the Emperor, King of Cups, Eight of Cups. Wow. King of Wands is Leo energy. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows exactly what he wants. He don't take no for an answer. He doesn't let little obstacles get in his way. This is very driven, motivated, ambitious, determined energy. This is someone who's going to find a way to get what he wants, or he's going to make a way to get what he wants. It's also the pinnacle, like the top level of that wand suit. And like I said, that's passion, desire, sexual energy. So it's someone who's very driven and motivated by that too. It's the counterpart to the Queen of Wands that we have out here in this first column. The passion and desire counterparts. This is sitting right behind your energy, behind your back here. So this is someone typically, like we see the King of Swords out here, he's the person that makes his decisions with his logical, rational mind. This is oftentimes a person who will make his decisions with the other head, if you get what I mean there. It's in the same row with this new cup of love showing up. Next we have the Emperor, the Aries Major Arcana card. This is another master manifester kind of an energy, because this is someone who has all the tools, abilities, and resources to put together the plan to get what they want and execute that plan to get what they want. This is an energy of control. It's about being in control, taking charge, calling the shots, making the rules, setting the boundaries. That's tied to this wife energy. It's also tied to judgment, the final decision being passed on something being dead and over with. It's in the column here with this Ten of Swords. Looks like, very rarely is this Emperor energy the person that I'm reading for. It's usually the other person being in control, making the rules. Next, I get the King of Cups. This is Scorpio energy. This is someone who has a lot of emotions, probably very intuitive, but they're also incredibly difficult to read. You can see on the card, he's got a completely straight face, emotionless face. The water around his feet is all rough and choppy, and that represents rough, choppy emotions, like internal chaos, like emotional turmoil, but you can't tell by looking at his face. Now, this can be the kind of person who has a love and emotions for you, but you're not really sure if they do or not because they don't fully express that. This can also be someone who's going through some emotional difficulty and you don't know that because they don't tell you about it. This is very peculiar because, see, now I've got the counterparts in the love and emotions suit here. These are the two people that work together as equals to make this Ten of Cups. So that feels like probably how you're viewing your person here, that you have all the love and emotions for them, probably viewing them like the counterpart to you. But it's interesting because in the row with you is the King of Wands. Like, that's a mismatch. And in the row down here with the King of Cups, we got that Queen of Wands, which is a mismatch. This is like something's not lining up right here. And between the King of Cups and the Queen of Wands is all that hope. This is looking like they're hoping for something different than you're hoping for. Looks like they're going in a different direction. Like, instead of being lined up with you in love, they've got all this passion and desire and maybe lust here. And maybe trying to control that part of themselves. The final clarifier of this Ten of Swords is the Eight of Cups, Pisces energy. This is emotionally detaching and then physically detaching and walking away. This person is walking away from 8 full cups of love because they think there's something better out there for them. So sometimes this can represent your person walking away to go see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence with this fire element queen, this hot queen. It's sitting right beside the Seven of Swords, the lying and the cheating and the deception and the sneaking around, even though we have the Ten of Cups in that same row with it. If that's the Ten of Cups, it's the Ten of Cups for you. In other words, it's your idealized viewpoint of how you want the relationship to be, or even the belief that you had about it that got shattered before this new physical opportunity showed up and before this person split. Yeah, behind that Chariot is the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands. Okay, this is all making a lot of sense. Five of Cups. So that all fits together too. This Knight of Cups is actions toward love and emotions. It's moving forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures, trying to advance a cup of love in some way. And there's the cup of love. It's also already out here as the very first clarifier in that first column. The new beginning in love and emotions, trying to advance on that, which is why this person is detaching and walking away. They want to go see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And this is probably where it leaves you. We get this Eight of Pentacles, which is the Virgo energy of work, putting in the work, time, effort, and energy on something, or at the least being willing to put the work in on it. If you believe this is the happily ever after and you have all of this hope that it can be fixed, even in spite of the lying and the cheating and deception, this would probably indicate you still having the willingness to work on it. Like, haven't made a decision yet for you, in that I haven't decided to end this. I haven't decided to call it dead and over with, even though the tower is collapsed, even though I've got the Ten of Swords in both decks that I'm using and it's dead and over. It could be that I still haven't decided to where to put my effort and stuff into something different here. I'm still trying to work on this, which is why we get the Ten of Wands next. Sagittarius energy of a heavy burden that you're carrying. This is something weighing you down and holding you back. The burden here is your willingness to continue to work on this. You got the Five of Cups right behind that. Sadness, remorse, regrets, emotional loss. The spillage of all the cups here, that represents the togetherness being spilled. And in the background is still two cups that are upright, which is central to your energy. That means you still feel the connection, even though it's been spilled. And still feeling the connection is what keeps you focused on the loss of it. And at the core of what this card really is about, it's about whatever a person focuses on is going to dictate to them what emotions they feel. So here, I still feel the connection, so I'm focused on the loss and I'm feeling the loss of it. I'm focused on this thing that's missing from my life now, and I'm feeling that gap in my life. There are still two upright cups in the background that you could choose to focus on. And yeah, the three cups are bigger. It weighs more. So it's going to take effort and like intentional will to stop focusing on the loss of something and focus on what you still have, what can still make you happy. Now, the other thing that this can reference is the three cups being spilled could be because the third party is what spilled the connection from your point of view. And the two upright cups in the background can represent that there is another connection still looming in the background, because here in the shared energy, a decision needs made and it hasn't been made yet. And the Hermit is next, which is like soul searching, deep inner reflection, trying to figure out what to do moving forward from here. The other thing that I need to say about this Eight of Cups, and sure, it can represent your person went to go see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. The other thing this card can represent is advice for you. And the advice would be, 8 cups is the best you've ever actually gotten from this person, because 8 is the best they're capable of. If you really want your 9th cup, your own personal happiness, if you really want the actual legitimate real 10 of cups, the happily ever after, you're not going to be able to find it with this person because they're not capable of it. If they were capable of it, it wouldn't be connected directly to the 7 of Swords, the lying, the cheating, the deception. I think that's what this overall energy is really trying to say here. It's the collapse of not just the relationship, but it's the collapse of the belief system you had around it. And if that belief system of this happily ever after hasn't collapsed, that's probably what you're being instructed to do here with this 8 of Cups. Emotionally detach from that idealized fantasy viewpoint of it. that is, it's changed, it's collapsed. There is a new thing that has shown up here. Okay, well, that's your energy in this connection for October 2025. Let's get some room and take a look at your person's energy. For them, the first card is the most important, Nine of Swords. Central for their energy, the Empress. And their final card is the King of Cups. Nine of Swords, Gemini energy. Fear, worry, and anxiety. This is thinking about something over and over and over again with all this fear and worry behind their thinking, and doing that to the point that it becomes physically stressful. This is a card of mental anguish. Can be nightmares, sleepless nights, can't concentrate on what I'm doing, can't eat. It's a very unpleasant energy. Why is the Nine of Swords the first card for Cancer's person of interest here in October 2025? Okay, they're going to make me go in and dig stuff out here. What do we got? I don't know if anything else flipped. There was a lot that, again, felt like stuttering there, where stuff wanted to come out, it wanted to turn over, but it just didn't. Let's get one more on this Nine of Swords, okay? Underlying this Nine of Swords, Six of Pentacles, Taurus energy. This is the merchant, your person, giving to two people in the physical sense. And that's why they have all the fear, worry, and anxiety, because they're fearful and worried that they're probably going to get found out here. Right now, you've got the blinders on in this shared energy. You're not fully happy. You're not fully content. You can probably even feel that there's some other thing here hanging in the air. Maybe there's even a history of another person hanging in the air, or even someone from their past. But this is them giving to two. I think you might be finding out something at this early stage. Again, this is normally like something that's already happened, and the closer we get to the end, it's usually getting more and more current. It's not always that way, but a lot of times it is. Behind Six of Pentacles is the Sun. Leo Major Arcana. This is the happiest card in the deck. It's happiness, joy, bliss, harmony. Really hard to get a better card than that when that's what it means. This is really peculiar if this is talking about happiness tied to giving to two people. But then fear, worry, and anxiety about that. Maybe because if you find out, then I won't be able to give to two people anymore, and that will wreck my happiness. The other thing the Sun can represent is illumination. It's the card that comes after the Moon. We already saw the Moon toward the beginning. A secret being kept, something being hidden in the dark. The next step when it's dark is the Sun comes up, and now it's not dark. The light gets shined on that thing that was being hidden. It gets exposed. It gets illuminated. Now I can see that they're given to two people. That's probably what they're really afraid of, that it's going to come out. Four of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, holding on tightly to something that they don't want to let go of. It makes sense here. When I clarify Nine of Swords, I get 10 of Wands, King of Pentacles, Four of Wands. 10 of Wands is Sagittarius energy. This is a heavy burden that they're carrying. It's something weighing them down and holding them back. It's a 10, and 10s are completions. This is supposed to be the spot where they lay this burden down and move on without it. Doesn't look like that. It looks like they're really, really burdened by all the fear, worry, and anxiety they have. All the grinding on this. Next clarifier for that Nine of Swords is the King of Pentacles. Damn. This is Taurus energy. This is usually husband type energy. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean legally married husband like you're married to this person, although it can mean that. Hell, it could mean this person was already married. I do have in the same row across from here the Queen of Pentacles. So there's the counterparts in that suit. I've got the King and the Queen of Cups over here, the King and the Queen of Wands. I had the Queen of Pentacles showing up over here in your side, but now I've got the King, the match to that over here. This is usually someone who's building their life around someone, and there's some sort of burden attached to the idea of being husband, it looks like. Or maybe fear, worry, and anxiety is the burden because I am husband, or at the very least, I'm a committed person that's building my life around you, and there's this giving to two thing happening during the Four of Wands, which again is Aries energy of stability of home life, stability of family, stability of connection. It's also the stage in manifesting where what I want shows up. I'm getting drained on this side. The Empress is central to their energy, Cancer. This is the birth of something new. Usually this is the birth of a new relationship, a new connection. Why is the Empress central energy? Wow. That one made it such a point to show itself to me. It flipped upright. I saw it. They tried to hide it and contain it, and it was sticking out the bottom of the deck so far I couldn't leave it in there. Underlying this Empress energy, this birth of something new, I get the Three of Wands, Aries energy. In the wand suit, it contains the story of manifesting. It begins at the Two of Wands, where I'm at this decision point about what do I want my life to be like? What do I want my world to be like? What do I want? And it's about choosing the path that I believe gets me to that. In this Three of Wands, that decision point has already been reached. The path has been chosen, and they've started taking steps down the path they chose, and they have this positive expectancy that the thing I want is going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. This is about already taking the steps to get it. And in this Four of Wands is, ta-da, it's shown up. It's stable in physical reality. This is about waiting on it to arrive. This is like one of the early stages of manifesting, and then I get the Magician right behind it, the Master Manifester. This is the person whose thoughts and actions have created this whole situation I'm reading about right here. They're waiting on the thing that they're trying to create to show up, which is this birth of something new. But I've got the Hierophant behind it again. This is commitment. They're in a commitment. I am confused as to who they're in a commitment with, because I got three different kings out here, three different versions of them, and I've got three different queens out here. This looks like a mess. I can't tell if you're married to this person when they did all of this, or if they're married to someone else and maybe they told you they were going to like end it with that person, but they never actually pulled the trigger on that. Or if they have you and two other people. I can't really tell. It's too mixed up here. When I clarify the Empress, I get the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and Justice. So they're draining me. I keep wanting to yawn over and over and over again. If they got three women, I don't know how in the world they do that. It's like all I can do to handle one. It's like, what in the world? When I clarify the Empress, this Two of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. Twos are choices, decisions, and this is a decision between these two physical things that I can't have both of at the same time. When we go back to the overall energy, the Tower collapsing, tied directly to a new physical opportunity showing up, a physical thing showing up. The shared energy, communications about a physical opportunity presenting itself. First clarifier, Ace of Cups, new opportunity for love and emotions. This is sometimes a person who can't make up their damn mind. Do I want this one or that one? Do I or don't I? What do I do? And they're back and forth. They're on one foot because they're 1 foot in and 1 foot out, not fully made up their mind yet. In the shared energy, the decision that has to be made, only it hasn't been made. This person is not fully happy and content whoever they're together with, whoever they're in a commitment with. I don't know if that's you or someone else. Like maybe they're a husband and I'm not 100% sure. What I know is they haven't decided which one they're going to go with yet at this stage. And they're not happy with whatever they have in front of them. And they've got this other cup on their mind. This is sometimes someone who's juggling two people. That's tied directly to the burden that's weighing them down and holding them back. That's tied directly to the fear, worry, and anxiety about the birth of something new. This is just like a little circular energy here. Very like mentally not fun. Next clarifier for the Empress, Knight of Pentacles. Slowest moving knight in the deck. Very monotonous, frustrating, and they're making me yawn again. It's like frustrating, make you want to pull your hair out kind of an energy. This is usually someone wants something so bad that they wanted it like yesterday, but they're getting this slow snail's pace instead of the speed that they want. It can also represent a person who knows what they're supposed to do and doesn't do it, or they know what they're not supposed to do and they do it anyway. He's got the Ace of Pentacles, the seed of abundance in his hand, but the fields are empty because he hasn't planted the seed when he knows he's supposed to. Likewise, he knows he's not supposed to just sit here and do nothing, but that's exactly what he's doing. Also, probably knows I'm not supposed to juggle two people. I'm not supposed to birth a new connection when I'm already in a commitment. And there's this idea of husband here, and like the way it's laid on the table, there's the movement away from being husband, but it's really slow and frustrating. Next I get Justice, which is the Libra Major Arcana. This is the most powerful card of balance in the deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. The sword in the card is used to cut away something that's not in balance, so balance can be restored, and then the right, fair, just thing can happen. This card shows up to point out the fact that something unfair, unjust, unbalanced is happening and it needs corrected. That's tied directly to this idea of stability of home and family and connection. It's also tied to the idea of 1111 manifesting the thing that I want having now appeared in front of me, because at this stage they were waiting on it and trying to create it. Son of a bitch, I didn't go far enough again. There's that Hierophant behind the Magician manifesting something about commitment when I'm probably already in a commitment. That's probably what that's telling me. Right behind that is the Ten of Pentacles, combined together life. This is Virgo energy of combining lives together, building a life together, maximum stability and abundance. There's legitimately a family together on the card here about combining lives together. This is the card I get a lot for people when they're married or when they live together or when they're going down that kind of a path. And I've got all three of those cards that would indicate marriage or at the minimum a really heavy-duty commitment. The other two cards that could be taken to mean that way are the King and the Queen of Pentacles, because they build the Ten of Pentacles together, husband and wife. All of those cards have been out in this. Final card for your person, Cancer, King of Cups. This is Scorpio energy. Again, someone who has a lot of emotions, but does not wear their emotions on their sleeve. They don't publicly broadcast how they feel. They could love you and you not know it because they don't express it. They could be in emotional turmoil and you not know it because they don't express it. Clearly they're in turmoil because their very first card is mental anguish, and there's them hiding how they feel, and in the middle of those two cards is the birth of something new, and they're fearful and worried about that, and probably have one hellacious poker face. What's going on with this King of Cups? Why is that the final card for Cancer's person in October 2025? Notice how this has worked most of the time. The cards just fly out of the deck. And here I had to shuffle all the way through only to get one flip face up that I have to go dig out. That's usually a sign that this kind of a person is someone that is like pulling teeth to get any information out of them, especially around how they feel about something. Let's get 2 more on this King of Cups, please. Okay, we'll take 3. Felt like there was, yeah, there was another one there. Where did you go now? I know there's another one in here. Yeah, see, not only do you have to dig to get the information, they make you go back and dig and dig and dig again because they're pretty good at keeping stuff quiet. Okay, I guess that's it. What's underlying this King of Cups energy? 3 of Wands, Aries energy. Waiting. This is the early stages of manifesting where I've already decided what I want. I've already chosen the path that I believe gets me to what I want. I've started down the path. I'm taking actions to create the thing that I want. And I fully expect what I want is going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet, and I'm waiting on it to materialize. The Magician. You've seen me shuffle this, right? Like, there it is again, same order. The Master Manifester. And Temperance. This is a Sagittarius Major Arcana card. This is sometimes a card of patience. So they could be patiently waiting for the thing they're trying to create to happen. This is also an energy of blending 2 things together to create something new. I got the birth of something new there. Man, this is a recalibration, assimilation to change kind of an energy. This shows up for me a lot when something is really badly out of whack. And this is like, we need to recalibrate. What's out of whack is what they're trying to manifest, it looks like. Good grief. When I clarify this King of Cups, I get the Empress again, the 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, 5 of Swords. The card I just clarified right before this King of Cups was the Empress. So it's sitting right beside it to the left on the table. And now the very first clarifier for it is the Empress again. The birth of something new, the birth of a new relationship. It's tied directly to this person that you have all the love and emotions for and who's probably incredibly good at hiding their feelings. I've got it juggling 2 people, and even that card is tied to the Empress in 2 different directions. It's also tied to the burden that's weighing them down, and that 2 of Pentacles is also tied to the person who's doing stuff they know they're not supposed to be doing. So again, confusing me because I don't know if this person was in a commitment with you and got a new person, or did they get 2 new persons here? Because I do have 3 queens on this side. I've got that person tied to the birth of something new 2 different ways. And this, I can't make up my mind, energy in between that. I don't know if they have 1 new person or if they have 2 new people. Point is, they're being deceptive and sneaking around and doing stuff they're not supposed to be, and they probably have a propensity to detach and go see if the grass is greener and can't never make up their mind on which one they want to do. Probably a history of not being fully satisfied with what I have and thinking about this bright new shiny cup that would make me happy if I had that. Probably even have a history of betrayal. And if that's the case, they probably also have a history of trying to rationalize that and, logically explain it away. Next clarifier for King of Cups is the 8 of Wands, Sagittarius energy. This is the second fastest moving energy in the deck. The only thing faster was this Chariot that I saw here, where I got the new opportunity and now I'm getting the hell out of Dodge and I'm moving forward romantically with this new cup of love. This could be very fast forward movement on something there's a lot of passion and desire for, something they want really, really bad. This can also be just so much happening all at once, maybe coming out of left field. Maybe it's like it's just too much to handle. It can be really overwhelming energy. That overwhelm is tied to combined together life, but if this could also be in the process of having a combined together life with you or someone else, not sure, this person's like all over the place. This could just be like in the process of already having this, I have all this rapid back and forth passionate communicating. I have this very rapid movement on passion and desire that's sitting directly beside justice, the thing that points out the unfair, unjust, unbalanced thing taking place, which is also in the row with the stability of home and family and connection. This person looks like they have made one hell of a mess, which is why the Tower is the overall energy here. The final clarifier for King of Cups, Five of Swords. Aquarius energy. Again, fives are conflict. This can be a big giant fight that ends things, but more often than not, this is betrayal. I've got 10 of Swords in both decks, betrayal. I've got 7 of Swords out here. I've got Justice out here. I've got them given to 2 people, birthing something new. Looks like 2 different ways. This is looking a whole lot like betrayal to me. It can also sometimes just be a person who has this winning at all cost attitude. Like, I'm going to get what I want. And if you get hurt in the process, well, that's your problem. I'm getting what I want. I'm taking care of me. It's the only card in their side that has no information with it. Like, just 2 gaps in the information. And what's above each of those gaps is stable home and family life and some unfair, unjust thing happening. Please leave me a comment and let me know how this applies to you, because this is going to drive me nuts trying to figure out if this person has you and someone else, or if they're married to you or married to someone else and not you, or if they've got 2 somebody else's. The important thing that it seems that I'm supposed to tell you is this Tower has collapsed. This thing is dead and over with. It's not coming back to life when it's got 10 swords in it 2 different ways. I realize that there's probably a lot of reminiscing going on for you and thinking about the way it used to be, and this probably felt like a really deep and powerful emotional connection to you. You probably had strong beliefs about this, like maybe that this person is the one for me, that this is my happily ever after, my happy fairy tale romance, but this is the collapse of that belief.